I'm back in real time at 1:01 a.m. Thursday. It's July 1st, finally, 2021, and I'm back after a week ban, but it seems like it's been longer than a week. But I need to get this off my chest as fast as I can, even though it's late. And I put out 3 videos in a row today. Actually, it's into tomorrow because it's now Thursday, but during the day, Wednesday, the same day. And this has to do with those Gnostic-Grace charlatans out there still going at it, attacking me. And I just happened to come across a couple of this certain person's videos in that bunch. It doesn't seem to do any good not to mention their name, but I'm not going to. And I did a video already about all of this, and I really ripped into them. But fortunately, or unfortunately, however you look at it, I think I accidentally erased it, so I have to do it over here. But it seemed like a direct attack against me, though they didn't mention my name. But it seemed very obvious that they were referring to me, the whole rotten crowd of them, the whole bunch of them. And this person was basically saying about this unnamed person they were talking about, telling everyone to stay away from their channel. And I'll speak in the first person as if they were speaking about my channel, because I believe they were. To stay away from my channel, that I'm leading the young believers astray, that I'm attacking the brethren, and it was shameful, especially because they believe all the doctrines about grace, all the main doctrines about salvation and the cross and resurrection. So how could I be attacking them based on that? It's wrong. It's bad for me that I'm doing this to everyone, to fellow grace believers, which they're not to me whatsoever, and that I don't know the definition, even the definition of the word Gnostic, which they defined in a mystical sense. And there's many different meanings to Gnosticism and what it means. Such a vast term, but it goes hand in hand with their false belief that they can't see it. They can't see that it's just knowledge that everything is based on, in that way that I use it to expose them and have in the past, that their belief, their gospel is just knowledge of the mind. And then, of course, the commiseration in the comments of the same ones, reinforcing each other, so forth, praising this person, this woman's video that I'm discussing here, where I was attacked again, because they just don't see it. They can't see their error. And most importantly, saying that I am saying and have been saying that the grace gospel itself is Gnostic. That's the lie that they want to perpetrate, to make others believe that I'm attacking, quote unquote, the grace gospel. There's no one, I shouldn't say no one, but I preach nothing but grace, pure grace, period. It's such a lie. Really, why I'm even responding to this? Well, because I've been attacked and it's out there in public, and I'm making a response to it out in the public, and not just letting it be. I'll use the word satanic. It's just plain satanic. They are, and believing all the lies that they do. Probably those who just came to my channel may not have listened to me before, may be confused about or not even aware of what I'm talking about here. But there's a difference between the grace gospel, and there's no other way to be saved by grace, and a false Gnostic mind belief, way of believing that's false. And if anything at all, I've been trying to differentiate the two, so that those, especially young believers, will learn right off the bat what the truth is, and not be persuaded and swayed and lied to and believe their lies. As they're saying that I'm the one causing the confusion and leading the young astray, the young lambs who just came to believe. So this is the fruit and the byproduct of their unregenerate gospel and unregenerate state that they exist in darkness, refuse to see the light and the truth. Really, I consider it an honor to be come against in that way by them for the sake of the truth. It's an honor. So what I thought I'd do is I'd read a brief thing that I wrote. I was going to include it in 2 videos ago about the false idea that faith is of ourself. It's not. So I just decided, well, do another video. I'll mention this as I just did because I accidentally erased the first video, and then read this, and that would sort of give a retort to it all and explain things. Because if I mention their channel and their name, I don't think it's going to do any good. It's just going to flame the fire. Not that I care about that happening or not. I'll do it anyway, regardless. But I want nothing to do with that bunch, all of them. It's not just a bunch. It's many out there. They're all in the same boat, of the same mind, the same false gospel that they've made out of the true, pure grace gospel and the grace of Christ and salvation. I could have worked on what I wrote and re-edited it a little bit and added on, but I'm just going to read it as it is and let it be. I kind of don't even want to put this video up, even though I felt so strongly in what I had said in the first video that I erased. And now I just feel, well, I'm tired to begin with because it's been a long day. But I just can't let this go. I can't. So just let me read it and get it over with. I'll start. Here we go. This is what I said. I never said, quote, the gospel of grace, unquote, itself is Gnostic, despite such satanic lies that I have, which are again being said of me, as well as sarcastically putting me down, that I don't even know the meaning of the word Gnostic. Gnostic means knowing, or of the mind, knowledge, as the basis for its vast definition, which may or may not include mystical experience or revelation, along with exhibiting cult-like deviation from the truth. For all those experts out there so Gnostically enlightened that they feel qualified to insult me. This form of cultish Gnostic grace is apart from the authentic version and not the real thing. Besides being knowledge alone or mind alone belief, it also qualifies as being mystically Gnostic by its tracing of, quote, the roots of grace, unquote, and its origin back to a claim of special revelation given only to Paul, when in truth God's grace alone always was and always existed as the only means of salvation in any mislabeled, quote-unquote, dispensation, and that prior to that special knowledge of grace, there was no salvation or quote-unquote grace gospel to be saved, to be instead based only on that knowledge or gnosis or thought change, this so-called change of mind that's constantly parroted. Thus, the bogus twisting of the Greek term metanoia, which means beyond the mind or transcending mere thought, not just of the mind, into defining the term repentance to conveniently mean a change of mind or to turn one's thoughts toward affirmations about grace, while all the while still remaining dead in one's sins and unchanged inwardly. Grace works instead of a work of grace, but a mental work, though no works are otherwise involved, like with the works salvationists or legalists who refute that grace alone will save you, but just two sides of the same coin with serpent heads. And that's why it has been transformed into a false grace-based gospel and not authentic grace, because they themselves have not been transformed inwardly. Jesus does not dwell within them. They yet possess only unredeemed and fully carnal inner fruits, while remaining deceptively self-righteous, because their confession of faith begins and ends with themselves exclusively. They are grace legalists, grace Pharisees, smug in mind, only belief, yet walking in spiritual darkness and unwilling to tell the difference between the two concepts of true and false grace belief. I yet again explain here. They made it into a Gnostic, unregenerate form of grace without Christ, not me, without him even involved in giving salvation personally to others, but an agnostic, doctrine-based, self-derived profession of a faith they've concocted in their own minds, not from God's Spirit, not even dwelling within them. Saved and sealed doesn't mean saved by your own knowledge and understanding about the concept of grace alone to save, while sealed meaning sealed in their minds only, not by Jesus and his Spirit present within, to also have turned them into a new creation, not just, quote, a new creation of the mind, like changing your shirt and saying, I change my mind to believe through my positive affirmation and confirmation and confession. So now I have proven to and convinced myself that therefore I must be saved. And they just don't get it because they ain't got it. And it seems they never will, but will keep on making false and lying accusations against the things I say, which they despicably pervert to their own destruction. I think, so therefore I am. Ergo, I think, so therefore I am saved, is their unbiblical, mind-based, Descartian philosophy, if that's who I think therefore I am. Was that Descartes or whoever it was, one of the philosophers? So I really messed that up, but anyway, I wanted to try to read it anyway. Like I say, my mouth hasn't been functioning properly lately, so that about does it with that. As I tiredly made my way through this video and read what I felt something I wrote earlier. But that's what's going on that's what's going on out there, and they're still at it. They're still playing their games, still slinging the mud and accusations, and trying to keep others from the truth, from even coming to the channels that they should hear, speaking the truth about grace in its proper way. The best term I could use for that video that I heard of this person talking is the word paranoid. All the things that were said, not only were they lies, but it seemed like a paranoid person would do in saying things and believing things and making things up and believing them, and the others going along and making comments in total support. I'm not going to name who they are. You already know who they are, the same characters. I forgot to mention a very important thing here. that when I came across this person's channel during the past month, I looked at the titles, and they were exactly the same titles as my videos. And at least I thought so. I still think that for the most part, or they are. And I said, well, this person must be mirroring, playing my videos, because the titles are all the same. And I thought, I didn't check to bother to see, but I figured, why not? I don't care. That's good. At least this person seemed to maybe be preaching what I'm preaching, and that would be a good thing. So that's what I thought. But now it seems like it's kind of a mockery, using everything that I'm, even my titles, but with the ultimate purpose of coming here now and turning, turning it all about to use it against me, for that purpose, in their reason for, I guess, I don't know what reason or whatever. I don't know. They seem to maybe be mixed up if they're actually going along or believing or teaching some or a lot of what I'm teaching. And I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but from the titles it looked like they were or they are. But now to see that, um, you know, totally ripping on me, and it's a farce, whatever they're teaching or whatever that I am teaching or was teaching. I don't know, but like I say, in this video I'm describing here, it was totally against me. So either they're very confused, or I don't know what the story is. Well, that's for sure, but I mean, what I'm saying is, how could somebody be, opposing and yet supporting what I'm saying at the same time by saying the same things in the same videos with the same titles, seemingly, you know, preaching the same thing I am, but yet totally in actuality the opposite, opposing everything that I'm saying, um, as far as Gnosticism goes. So either they're being terribly swayed, or I don't know what's happening, but that's the way it is here. That's the way it is with this Gnostic belief. It's like it seems so parallel. So even those who are preaching it seem like they don't even know the difference themselves. They could even be supporting certain things about grace and certain teachings like I'm teaching, yet at the same time they don't believe it somehow. It's so confusing and so distorted. The devil has distorted things so much in their minds that they can't tell the difference. They don't really know up from down in any of this. But for sure, they're being used to attack the truth, me, myself, other true believers, by Satan. So that's what they're being used for. That's what they're doing. So I don't know if I'm going to be back doing any videos lately, because I just did 4. I'm pretty tired. I kind of sense all of a sudden things dropping off here. So I don't know if you'll be hearing from me for a while. I don't know, maybe not, but right now I said, I've kind of exhausted myself, and what I had to say lined up. Now that I'm back on here, I had a chance to put them all up all together in one day here. So, I mean, let the blind remain blind if they want to stay blind. Nothing anyone can do about it, including God, including Jesus. They want to stay deceived, and so be it. They shall remain deceived. Again, to me, it's an honor. It's an honor to be, have to go through something like that, to be thought of in such a way and made into such the bad villain of everything toward everyone, amongst believers. But again, they're not my brethren, just as they said in their video, amongst the brethren, that I'm doing this amongst the brethren. Well, they're not my brethren. So there you go. So let them have their day and see where it gets them in the end. Nowhere. I've pretty much exhausted myself toward everyone during all this time of doing videos to try to bring this all out and expose this. And it really hit a brick wall. Basically, put it bluntly, that's basically the effect of my having done that. So I'll speak to you if and when I speak to you. But right now I feel like I've pretty much exhausted myself for a while here, unless things come to me that I feel impressed upon to put up, pretty recently, in the next days. But I don't foresee that really. I'll just let these 4 videos run that I just put up and see what happens in the next several days. And if I respond or come back here, I have no clue. But that's all I have for now, and I'll play it by ear unless we disappear, which rhymes. All right, that's it. See you later, hopefully. Bye.